Using headers, footers, and page numbering. On some occasions, you're going to want repeating information in your Word documents. Maybe longer documents, you need to see the information at the top of every page. How about page numbering? That's information that appears on every page that you choose. Sometimes it's just simply company information scrolled across the bottom. Well, we're talking about headers, footers, and page numbers, and we're going to apply it to this document called LH Guide 0502. You'll find that in the Chapter 5 folder of your exercise files, and as we scroll through this document, you can see it's 6 pages in length. Check out the bottom, the left-hand corner of the screen. You can see that there's some formatting, but there's more to do. And at the top of every page and at the bottom of every page, we're not seeing anything at the moment. But there's a space there. For example, if we go to the top of this page, which is our page 1, and we double click, we'll notice that the Design tab opens up for headers, footers, and there's a button to close headers and footers as well over here. Now, as we scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can also see that the footer area is opened up as well, and on every subsequent page. So anything we want repeated at the top of every page, we would put into a header. Anything we want showing up at the bottom of every page goes into our footer. And all we have to do is click in there and start typing or inserting things. So let's start by clicking the close button on the ribbon at the far right hand side to close up the header and footer. And we'll start with page numbers. So maybe we want to see page numbers in our document. Maybe at the bottom right-hand corner of every page. Let's go to the Insert tab. And as we see, page numbers is here. And there's also an option for headers. These are the different types of headers. There's also an edit header. Within this tab, there's also a footer option. And these are the different ones. There's also an edit footer option. And then page numbering. Page numbering can be entered at the top of the page, at the bottom of the page, within the margins, or at the current location of your document. So basically we want our page number to go in the footer area, and I'd like it at the bottom of the page. So what I'm going to do is I like number 3. That one seems to be right justified. I'll go ahead and click that. We'll notice that we get a number 1 at the bottom of our first page. There'll also be, if we scroll down, we'll see that there's a number 2 at the bottom of the second page, and so on. So I'll go back up to page 1. So I'm kind of thinking that since this footer area is open, that I want to put some more content in there. Maybe you'll feel at home in our neighborhood. So I'll go ahead and click just below the 1. And my cursor is here, so I'll go ahead and key the words, "You'll feel better," "better in our neighborhood." And I'll go ahead and add the ellipsis as well. So I kind of like it there, but I really don't. I'd like to have it centered, so I'm going to select this. I'm going to go back to my Home tab. I'm going to select Center to get that centered. I also think it's kind of small. I want it to stand out a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and choose a different font. And also the size, I'm going to go ahead and increase that. Maybe 18. 18 is kind of big, so I'm going to change it to a 17. So if it's not on your option, you can always just type it in. So I'll go ahead and do that and press my enter key on my keyboard. Oh, and by the way, I do also want to change the color. So I'm going to change the color. Our theme color is purple, so I'm going to use purple. And go ahead and click in there. So now you'll notice that this is at the bottom of each and every page in our document. So in order to get to this area, please note that Control E on your keyboard is a shortcut. And now we can come in here and format just like we formatted anything in the rest of our document. Well, I think this looks good. So I kind of like a different font, so I'm going to select this. I think that kind of is a little bit too bold. I'm going to select this font here. And I think that looks a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and deselect it and give you an opportunity to see that at the bottom of the page. So we have the exact same thing, and it's not as bold, but it's showing, and that's our footer. Now, if you notice, if we go back into our Insert tab, and we click on our header and footer, you know, there's other options where we can change as well. But at this time, I don't think I want to change anything. So I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to go into my Design tab. And I notice that here I have a different first page. So if I don't want this header or this footer on the first page, I can just click here. And then you'll notice that if I go back to my first page, that is no longer there. But it is included on my second and my third page. Oops, scroll down just a little bit more. And my fourth page and so on. And then notice also that the page number is no longer on page 1 as well. So that took that out because page 1 is kind of like our title page. Now the other thing I can do is that I'd like to put in a header. So for my header, I would like to put, so if you go to the top of page 2, you'll notice that we've typed in West End, London. And if we scroll down, we'll see that it's at the top of page 3, 4, and so on. So I think that looks kind of good. So what I'm basically going to do now is that I'm going to go ahead and deselect it. And you'll notice if we go back up to page 1, it's not there. And it kind of fades into the background. It's on page 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So this is how you add footers, headers, and page numbers to your document.